Um, just, I haven't. Great work, I would presume.
Training, your technical training, everything's got to come together.
The boxing world is in chaos after shocking reports surfaced that Fabio Wardley was brutally dropped in sparring ahead of his much-anticipated showdown with Joseph Parker. What was supposed to be a quiet, routine training session has spiraled into a storm of mockery, memes, and meltdown across social media. Insiders have confirmed it wasn't a stumble or a slip. Wardley was genuinely rocked, and his recovery didn't inspire confidence. The whispers that began behind gym doors have now exploded into headlines. Fabio's chin might have cracked before fight night even arrived. Fans have been ruthless. The same voices that once hailed Wardley as Britain's next heavyweight force are now tearing him apart, labeling him chinless, overrated, and finished before the bell. It took just one leaked sparring clip to shatter the illusion. The man once hailed as the division's dark horse now looks like a fighter on borrowed time. Meanwhile, Joseph Parker is thriving. The New Zealand powerhouse is tearing through camp with ruthless precision. His recent knockout streak and icy focus have painted the picture.
He is looking like a beast in camp for this fight because he would have put everything into this camp. But it doesn't mean that can always translate in a ring when you get to the back end of your career. He's had loads of injuries. He's definitely coming to the end
of a man reborn. The contrast between the two couldn't be clearer. Parker looks possessed, while Wardley looks haunted. Inside sources close to both camps suggest the sparring knockdown wasn't an isolated mishap. It exposed something deeper. Wardley reportedly appeared dazed afterward, struggled to find rhythm, and
I'll fight like fucking stiff. He's gonna be fighting like this, and he's gonna
yeah.
Bro, I come in and I was just, hand was low and lazy, and I was just waiting for you. Boom.
His team has been in quiet panic ever since. Parker's camp, of course, has heard every word, and they're grinning behind closed doors. In boxing, word spreads fast, and a psychological edge like this is priceless. Once doubt creeps in, it's nearly impossible to shake. Then came Eddie Hearn, a man not known for loose
A great fight. I mean, firstly, Joe Parker is on an incredible run.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's beaten Wilder when no one really wanted to fight him. He's beaten Zhang when he was like the bogeyman, and he's just beaten Bacoli, although, you know, on short notice. I mean, that was a dangerous fight to take. So
Absolutely.
I love Joe. I think he deserves an opportunity. Joe against Dubois, Joe against Usyk, Joe against AJ. They're all great fights. I think.
Usually loyal to his fighters, Hearn's tone this time was uncharacteristically blunt. He admitted Wardley's recent form had looked poor and that the leaked sparring footage couldn't have surfaced at a worse time. Even he, Wardley's biggest advocate, sounded concerned. And when Eddie Hearn stops defending his fighter, you know something's wrong. The reaction from fans has been brutal. Memes have flooded the internet, turning Wardley into...
Because that's only sparring. If you get dropped in sparring, it means you're learning. Tomorrow morning, you don't get dropped in the same shot. So him getting dropped in sparring, that means he's learning on the job, so it's okay. Who cares? Alexander usually gets dropped in sparring, but he's
the punchline of the week. Many now claim his power was nothing but marketing hype, that the next big thing was just smoke and mirrors. In record time, Wardley's image has crumbled. From feared prospect to gym gossip, his reputation has taken a nosedive. Tony Bellew added,
I'm hearing things that he'd been dropped in the ring, in the gym and stuff like that. But that's okay too, because I took a couple spills, little slips in the ring, in the gym. That's okay, but we're going to see. This is
fuel to the fire, never one to sugarcoat. Bellew didn't just critique Wardley, he buried him. Calling him stiff, lazy, and predictable, Bellew captured what many analysts have been whispering for months. He's a highlight waiting to happen, Bellew said, and the boxing world nodded in agreement. To Bellew, Wardley looks out of his depth. A fighter lacking sharpness, adaptability, and true ring IQ. His brutal honesty made one thing clear. If Wardley fights the way he did in that leaked sparring session, this won't be a contest. It'll be a massacre. Even Eddie Hearn, while defending the promotion, couldn't help but praise Joseph Parker, and with good reason. The Kiwi has been in beast mode. His recent performances show a fighter dismantling opponents with surgical...
Yeah, it's got to go to the deep wars. Unless somebody slips up and get caught early. But, we gotta get him into the deep
precision. Parker looks like a man dismantling monsters, Hearn admitted. It's not an exaggeration. While Wardley battles self-doubt, Parker is cutting through the division like a surgeon, calm, cold, and calculated. This isn't hype versus hype anymore. It's class versus chaos. Derek Chisora chimed in next with his trademark bluntness. He's leaking confidence, Chisora said after watching the leaked footage. Though he tried to defend Wardley, saying everyone has bad days in camp, his tone told another story. Chisora's been around long enough to recognize the look of a man losing faith in himself. His pride hit the floor harder than that punch. One insider quipped. Even heavyweight veteran Shannon Briggs couldn't resist commenting, flashing his trademark.
Yeah, look, I have confidence in my power against Parker, against everyone in this division. I believe right opportunity, right moment, right occasion, I can knock anyone out. That is, for me, I think that's there, but there's a lot more that goes into it, piecing it together properly and doing all that. But Parker has proven that he can go down and get back up and will himself through. So I'm going to have to be smart, strategic about how I go about trying to get.
He told reporters, "It's okay, champ. It's okay." But it sounded more like pity than reassurance. Briggs knows what happens when gym wars go public. Once a fighter's confidence is shaken in private and then humiliated in public, recovery becomes an uphill battle. And that's exactly what's happening to Fabio Wardley. His aura of invincibility is gone. The hype train has officially derailed, and Parker's fans are feasting on the wreckage. Respected trainer Buddy McGirt offered a more analytical take, but his assessment was just as damning. Deep waters, McGirt said, that's where real fighters are exposed. He believes Wardley isn't built for it. Parker, he explained, is composed, intelligent, and experienced. He doesn't rush chaos. He controls it. McGirt's point was simple. Once fatigue sets in, power fades and only ring IQ remains. That's where Parker thrives. Wardley has never truly been dragged into deep...
He relies on his power far too much. He hasn't brought enough to his game right now, and I thought he would have kicked on from that. If he's going to have any chance against Joseph Parker, then he can't just rely on that big right hand. Joseph Parker's a seasoned, well-schooled athlete.
Who hits hard.
Yeah, who hits hard. He's on a resurgence in terms of his confidence and where he is in boxing now, Parker. So it's a good...
Water, McGirt argued, but Parker will make sure he drowns there. The difference in maturity between the two fighters is staggering. Parker has fought world champions, survived wars, and evolved under pressure. Wardley, meanwhile, has coasted past opposition that never tested his heart. McGirt's words felt less like commentary and more like prophecy. If Wardley can't swim, Parker will make sure he never resurfaces. Even Wardley's recent interviews haven't helped his case. His words were meant to project composure but reeked of uncertainty. Confidence isn't built in front of cameras, it's built in the gym. And those leaked clips tell a very different story. When he speaks, the tone lacks conviction, the bravado sounds rehearsed. He talks about power as if trying to convince himself rather than his audience. I believe in my power against Parker.
Got at least 6-7 set combinations. He can fight. So he needs to control this beast. If he doesn't control it, don't be surprised if you get an upset Saturday night. Don't be surprised.
Do you think Parker has the power or the speed and combination?
Parker against anyone. Wardley said, the right opportunity. The right moment, I can knock anyone out. But his hesitations told another story. He went on rambling about piecing it together properly and being smart, strategic. It didn't sound like a man ready for war. It sounded like one trying to find reasons to believe again. Meanwhile, Parker remained silent, smiling, focused, dangerous. He's been here before. He's tasted defeat, rebounded, and refined himself into a machine. The storm surrounding Wardley isn't just about a bad day in sparring. It's about exposure. About a fighter's aura cracking under pressure long before the first punch of fight night. And as the countdown continues, one thing feels certain. Joseph Parker is coming to finish what that sparring session started. Someone who stood toe-to-toe with Wilder, Joyce, and Ruiz. Joseph Parker has faced real fire in...
Fight though, it just... it's going to have everyone, just on the edge of their seat. I can already see it. What we're going for. Will Fabio be losing the fight again?
Endured real knockdowns and come back stronger every time. Fabio Wardley hasn't weathered that kind of storm. Not yet. Former world champion Duke McKenzie dissected Wardley's flaws with surgical precision. He's too predictable, McKenzie said. Every exchange depends on that one big right hand. Once that's neutralized, his toolbox is empty. It was a brutal assessment, and an accurate one. Parker, by contrast, has evolved into a complete fighter, patient, sharp, and tactical. McKenzie credited Andy Lee's coaching for Parker's transformation, calling him one of the most disciplined heavyweights in the division today. Wardley, he added, has plateaued. There's no evolution, just recycled aggression. Against someone like Parker, that's suicide. Johnny Nelson echoed that sentiment, praising Parker's technical refinement. 6 or 7 combinations, all rehearsed, all ready to land.
In front of you, fight them, smash them, move on to the next. So for me, this Fabio Wardley fight is the most important, and he is my Usyk, because there's no point thinking about Usyk if I can't take care of business for Fabio Wardley.
Nelson explained, that's precision under pressure. To Nelson, Parker isn't just stronger, he's smarter. Wardley's chaos-first approach can't keep pace with Parker's methodical rhythm. Once Parker dictates the tempo, Nelson added, the fight's out of Wardley's hands. Nelson's tone was calm but conclusive. He's seen this before, the technician dismantling the brawler. If Wardley can't adapt, he'll be left chasing shadows while Parker picks him apart with surgical accuracy. Fraser Clark captured the emotional tension perfectly. To him, this fight represents two opposite energies, redemption versus dominance. You've got a confident veteran in Parker and a wounded prospect in Wardley, Clark said. The question isn't if Wardley can win, it's if he can survive. Those words cut deep. This isn't just about belts or bragging rights. It's about one man fighting to rewrite his story before it collapses.
Parker has got wonderful skills, and under Andy Lee, he's really rejuvenated, and I think he's one of the best heavyweights in the world, period now, former world champion, of course. I think he's better than he once was, so that's a problem for Wardley, but Wardley brings that power in, and remember, Joe Joyce knocked Joe Parker out. Others have had him in trouble, Dillian White down, so you can never write Wardley out of any...
And another proving he's still elite. Parker, meanwhile, looks frighteningly calm. His timing, rhythm, and composure have never been better. He smells weakness like blood in the water. While Wardley's been fighting headlines, Parker's been sharpening his tools. Every jab, every feint, every combination carries intent. As Clark put it, someone's career trajectory is about to take a permanent turn. Then there's Joseph Parker's mindset, cold, measured, and deadly. His words during fight week said it all. No arrogance, no theatrics, just focus. When Parker called Wardley his Usyk, it wasn't flattery, it was motivation. He refuses to underestimate any opponent, no matter how small the perceived threat. That's what makes him dangerous. He trains like a man chasing a world title, not a paycheck. What
do we think of Parker versus Wardley?
Excellent fight in terms of Wardley. Now Wardley got out of jail in his last one.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is it the right fight for Fabio?
I think Joe Parker wins it. I think
does that make it the right fight for Fabio?
The guy that
it's the right opportunity. It's all about opportunity. You have so it is the right fight. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
for Fabio.
So. Absolutely. Look, they're both at the top of the.
Insider noted. Wardley, by contrast, looks like a fighter chasing reassurance. The difference couldn't be more glaring. One man is grounded, the other's rattled. Under Andy Lee's guidance, Parker has matured into a fighter who blends patience with punishment. His composure inside and outside the ring reflects a man in total control. This isn't just another bout. It's a clash between discipline and desperation. Veteran commentator Adam Smith summed it up perfectly. Parker's a fighter reborn, he said. Smith credited the Lee-Parker partnership for reigniting the Kiwi's hunger. His timing is crisp, his combinations are fluid, and his discipline is unmatched. Smith observed. Against Wilder and Joyce, Parker displayed the kind of maturity only seasoned champions.
The motivation to train every day because he's here as well. So a training partner is a vital thing for me. Without a training partner, things become difficult. You know how hard I like to train. So to come in here and train on my own like that, I can, and I do. But it's easier if Joe's here, you know? Yeah. So yeah, friendship and the brotherhood and the training partner is probably the most important things anyone can ever have. And I feel like I can trust Joe with anything.
Possess. Meanwhile, Wardley's weaknesses are becoming too obvious to ignore. Power without precision, aggression without structure. It's a recipe for disaster, Smith warned. Never write him off completely, but you can see where this is heading. In gyms across Britain, the whispers say the same thing. Parker's peaking, Wardley's panicking. Simon Jordan and Adam Catterall didn't mince words either. Jordan compared Wardley's career to escaping jail, referencing how he barely survived his last major test. That won't work against Parker, he said bluntly. You don't survive against Parker, you get exposed. Catterall tried to frame it as an opportunity, a chance for Wardley to redeem himself. But even he couldn't hide the concern. This fight might be too soon, too big and too brutal for Wardley, he admitted.